of July. I'd like that better. My mother named me after my grandfather, Phineas Taylor.
Phineas Taylor? No wonder everybody called him P.T.
When I was...
The book says that his grandfather was a great practical joker.
When I was 4 or 5, my grandfather told me I was the proud owner of a piece of property called Ivy Island. It wasn't until I was 9 or 10 that I discovered Ivy Island was a little piece of swampy grassland with 2 ivy plants on it. The whole town had been on the joke for years. My grandfather thought it was one of his best.
I think that's terrible.
He was part owner of a boarding house.
He ran a grocery store. He owned a tavern. He managed a candy store. He read a weekly newspaper. He sold hats on commission. He sold lotteries, legal ones, of course.
Finally, he went to New York to seek his fortune.
I got lucky in New York. I heard about Joyce Hess. I knew right then I had found a vocation. I became a showman.
Who in the world is Joyce Hess?
Mr. Barnum said she was George Washington's nurse, and she was 161 years old. He called it the greatest natural and national curiosity in the world.
I exhibited Joyce Hess in New York and Boston with great success. When business fell off, someone published a letter in the paper calling her fake. Well, that's all it took. Those who hadn't came to see her came back to make up their own minds, and those who had came back for a second look. Business was booming. Yes, sir, it pays to advertise.
Is all that true?
Of course it's true. It's in the book.
Was she a fake?
Judge for yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Joyce Hess and the Golden Oldies.
Some folks are shy about their age, even lie about their age. Oh, why they do that is a mystery. Oh, why they do that is a mystery.
Not me, I'm 161! And I'm not close to being done! But look here, in 1841 things started looking up.
I heard that New York's American Museum was for sale, and I proposed to buy it. It was part museum, part theater, part circus, and part sideshow.
How could you buy a museum if you didn't have any money?
I don't know. Let's see. Maybe it tells.
When my friends asked what I proposed to buy a museum with, I said brass. For silver and gold have I none, but I got brass.
Brass, what a wonderful word. Brass, has it ever occurred to you to see what you could do with brass?
To clinch the deal, the banker insisted on an unencumbered piece of real estate, so I gave him Ivy Island. My grandfather would have been proud.
It says here that more people paid to enter Barnum's American Museum than entered the British Museum for free.
Aw, come on. Surely you don't think that's really true.
Of course it is. It's in the book.
When are we gonna get to the circus part?
The museum was a success, but it was a midget that made me a giant.
That was really bad.
I know. You see, in 1843, I discovered Charles Stratton in Bridgeport. The amazing thing about Charles was he was only 25 inches tall. I named him General Tom Thumb. He was an immediate sensation. Tom and I were friends for 30 years. He was a unique man in many ways. One day in 1860, a man named James C. Adams came to see me. He was well known in the Sierra Nevada mountain area as Grizzly Adams, because he trained grizzly bears as pets. At a time, he had 20 or 30 grizzly bears. We staged a circus parade on Broadway. I learned a lot about animals from Grizzly Adams. I'm rusting in Bridgeport. I feel the decline. I think I've corroded each day. If I don't leave Bridgeport, I'll soon fade away. I believe advertising is like knowledge. A little is a dangerous thing. Yes, sir, printer's ink is the only liquid a man can use safely in excess.
10,000 people saw Mr. Barnum's circus after it opened in 1871 in Brooklyn. It says so right here in the book.
It had sideshow curios, lions, tigers, horses, a giraffe, jugglers, acrobats, riders, clowns, and of course, elephants.
Horses and jugglers and tigers and clowns, all of these have elements. But to be spectacular, a circus must have elephants. Lots and lots of elephants. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of elephants.
But a few months later, I reopened with an even better show that I took to Europe. But when I came home, I returned on hard times again. We were forced to close the show and auction the costumes and animals. It was a sad day.
Poor Mr. Barnum.
I bet he didn't stay poor Mr. Barnum long.
My centennial show featured a live eagle, a goddess of liberty, fireworks, lots of revolutionary uniforms, and a 300-voice choir singing My Country 'Tis of Thee. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand in the stirring rendition of My Country 'Tis of Thee?
My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing.
Of course, I had more experience. After all, I was 70 years old. But Bailey did have one thing on me. He had electric lights in his circus, and being a good showman, he was charging folks extra to see Mr. Edison's remarkable electric sunshine.
The Barnum Bailey Circus opened in New York in March 1881.
He grew up there, and I do mean up. He was 12 feet tall and weighed 6 tons. I offered to buy him for $10,000, never dreaming the zoo would accept my offer, but they did, and then the fun began. The British children didn't want Jumbo to leave London, but the Americans just couldn't wait for him to get there. Yes, sir, that was one bit of publicity I had nothing to do with, but I loved every minute of it.
Oh, little Jumbo, oh, stay, won't you please? Stay with us in London, with crumpets and teas. We'll walk in the park that you know as home. Stay with us, Jumbo, and please don't ever only Jumbo, America's
They say it's fun in America, but London's jolly too. Jumbo loved the circus, and the children loved him. I knew I had made a good decision. I used to talk to the children I always trusted the children. I used to talk to them after the show to see what they liked best.
I like the tightrope people. They look like little jelly beans way up there.
I'll bet you didn't know Mr. Barnum loved publicity so much, he talked some newspapers into writing his obituary while he was still alive.
I was always curious about what people would think when I was gone, so the New York Evening Sun published some samples. I was right pleased. The Boston Herald called me the foremost showman on earth, and then in the London Times said he gave a luster to America. Not bad for the Prince of Humbugs, huh?
You really got the greatest show. You really got the greatest show. You really